Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahusha, Yahweh Hashem Yahusha, Yahweh Hashem Yahusha, Yahweh Hashem Yahusha.
Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh Malakwaka, Daba'a Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathanawa, Lakam, Kal Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kawabwat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawabwati Nawa, Wala'a, Fabaya Nawa, Banasayawan, Ambal, Haushai Nawa, Mayan, Rai Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahata Ba'ara, La'ai Walamyam, Aman.
Because the Most High, He's righteous. He promised us that He was going to do these things. So the Yahweh Shai said, if you ask anything in my name, I will do, that the Father may be glorified.
Thou shalt also give crown for in the hand of the Lord, and a royal diadem in the hand of thy God. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land any more be termed desolate. But thou shalt be called Hephzibah, and thy land Beulah. But the Lord delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married. For as a young man marrieth a virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoiceth over the bride, so shall thy God rejoice over thee.
And that's why we're striving for what? For eternal life. That's what this knowledge is about. And it's leading us in that direction. And it begins with the knowledge. And after the knowledge comes the healing. And through the healing comes the blessing of Yahweh Bashem Shai, which he promised Abraham, and in the second covenant, that he will change our bodies. Because these corruptible bodies are corrupt because of the course that the world had to take to this point.
According to the Holy Scriptures, Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, is set to bring immortality to the nation of Israel, the elect, via establishing the tabernacle of David, as we talk about the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. He is coming to take down this current world ruled by Esau, Edom, and establish a righteous kingdom, which is synonymous with the throne of David. That's scriptural, which is a government that's going to run this world in righteousness.
Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples for his younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutation to the whole elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. All right. And what we're going to get into today, still dealing with Revelation, the 20th chapter. All right. As the Spirit, allows edification and topics to come, from madness, while they lie, we edify. All right. While they continue to push lies, we're going to continue to edify, and Lord willing, this is edifying, Lord will, understanding, was brought forth. We're just going to get into these things, man. Now, this is, going into these things because, I love, going into this topic, okay, going into the practical, okay, the practical perspective of the kingdom, okay, because pretty much what you see in dealing with the IUIC, and I say Nate, Nate know he lying. He just, he set up to do that, all right. But you have it being accepted, by his congregation, okay, because pretty much they have a fairy tale understanding of the kingdom. They pretty much have a cartoon understanding of the kingdom. Okay, they don't look at the kingdom as being a functioning, okay, society in the earth. Okay, they really, they have a very cartoon-like mind frame when it comes to the kingdom that's promised to us in the scriptures. Okay, so we're going to touch on the practical, okay, perspective of the kingdom and what that entails. All right, and if we have a practical understanding through the Spirit, okay, and not saying that this is going to be, putting the kingdom in the box and this is how, things are going to be exactly, okay, but just laying the foundation of how kingdoms are ran and how the kingdom, during the time of King David and King Solomon, how things was ran and how the Lord is going to reestablish that in the earth, but on another level, okay, which we will have to wait to see, okay, but just to put us in that direction of understanding, all right, the affairs, all right, of a kingdom, okay. Now let's get this here real quick. This is GMS Kingdom Mind. Oh, it's me. Tripping. All right, this is Jeremiah 3:15. It says, "And I will give you pastors according to my own heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding." All right, and in these latter times, the Lord has set that up. All right, as you see our apostles and elders, all right, which they've learned from their elders, truth, okay, and sincerity, man. Okay, the Spirit is dealing. All right, and through those men, all right, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Al Shai, well, beginning with the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, we have the understanding. Okay, we have, okay, pretty much a picture. We pretty much we got a vision. One thing about this truth, it goes from us agreeing to us being fully persuaded, and then now we just expect it, like we know it's going to happen. Now it's an expectation, and within that expectation we begin to see a vision, okay, of the things that we're being taught. We get to see a vision of the throne of David. We can kind of start seeing these things, okay, as it says. Let's get that real quick. All right, then we'll get into it. I think that's in Corinthians. All right. All right, so let's go here. Because Elder Menachem Zagba made a beautiful point earlier, how things are becoming more clear. This understanding is becoming more vivid and more clear. And, guys like Nate, and guys, Nate and guys like Nate, they're needed, to be in opposition to the truth. And what it does, it catapults our faith. It makes what we believe more firm. Okay, so let's go here to this 1 Corinthians 13:12 said, "For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also am I known." So when we start to learn, we don't really see, it's really not a vision. When we first come into the truth, we really don't have a vision of the kingdom. We're just excited to know that we're Israelites. We're excited to know that the Most High, is our power. His Son. That's our real big brother. That's our Savior. They look like us. Okay, we're the chosen people. But as we, mature in the faith, we begin to really see the vision. Okay, of the things that are being taught. Okay, now we really can see it, and that increases our faith. So let's go to this video real quick, and let's get what Nate actually said. Bishop Nathaniel. Okay, let's get what he actually said. Now, these guys, because in the video, Bishop Nate was pretty much throwing out as if we teach, that we teach that Yahushua, we reign with 1,000 years with Yahushua in the dark ages. Okay, we don't teach that. Okay, and then he said we teach that you can do all the sin you want and you're going to come back. Well, the 2/3 are going to come back, but we don't teach you to sin all you want. We teach repentance. Okay, and one thing about it, they just throw things out there. We let you hear what they actually said. Okay, and then go into the precept. They just throw things out there, man. So let's get what Nate actually said, and then we're just gonna go into it, man. All right. Come on, man. Hold on. It should be already queued up.
That ain't it.
All right. So I'm gonna just let this play real quick. Then all right, we're gonna get into the lesson.
We push them right back to where they were at. Like when you're reading, hey, you already know what I want right now while they're looking for the map? Job 30. We want verse, I think 1 through 5. I'm not looking at it. Job 30 is explaining the dark ages. But then guess what? It's going to happen again. Come on.
Job chapter 30, verse 1. But now they that are younger than I.
They that are younger than I mean they're not the heirs of God. They're not his firstborn. We're God's firstborn. So that's what it means, they that are younger than I. Go ahead. Talking about the white man. Go ahead.
They that are younger than I have me in derision.
Read.
Whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock.
Come on.
Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished.
Mm-hmm.
For want and famine they were solitary.
For want and famine they were solitary on the earth. Go ahead.
Fleeing into the wilderness.
They fled into the wilderness.
In former times.
You can put it on the map.
In former times.
In former times.
Desolate and waste.
Desolate and waste. Hey, put the mountains of Caucasus Mountains up. I want the caves of Khazaria, the Caucasus Mountains. Right there. Yuri, read.
Who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat.
Uh-huh.
They were driven forth from among men.
We have drove them forth from among men. Go ahead.
They cried after them as after a thief.
We chased them like they stole something. Go ahead.
To dwell in the cliffs of the valleys.
That's it right there. To dwell in the cliffs of the valley.
In caves of the earth.
In caves of the earth. Go ahead.
And in the rocks.
And in the rocks. So that was during the Renaissance, but guess what? Back to Ezekiel 24. Read that part again. It says they shall be shut up in prison.
Yes, sir. Isaiah. Yes, sir.
Isaiah, I'm sorry. Isaiah 24. I ain't looking at the verse. Help me out.
Yes, sir. I got you. Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 22. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit. And shall be shut up in the prison. And after many days shall they be visited.
They're going right back to that same prison. You remnant of Edomites, y'all cannot go past the Caucasus Mountains. Y'all stay right there. But then guess what? The Lord's going to tell us, release them. Let them go out. And their job, Gog and Magog, they're going to gather together an assembly of nations. They're going to be building weapons again. So now back to Ezekiel 38.
All right, so there you heard it. You know, he's pretty much saying that after 1,000 years, Esau, Edom, okay, is going to attempt, you know, to overthrow the kingdom, that he's going to build weaponry. Okay. This is crazy, man. Now, let's just deal with the logic before we get into these precepts. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the blue letter. All right, and we're gonna go into these things. Now, if they're tied up, if they're chained in the Caucasus Mountains, how are they going to be alive in 1,000 years? For them to be alive for 1,000 years in the Caucasus Mountains, that means that they would have to have civilization. They would have to have family. They would have to have agriculture. Okay, so Nate is pretty much telling you that Esau, Edom is going to have free time. Okay, you know, they would have to have a lot of free time. All right, if they was over there to themselves in the Caucasus Mountains, okay, and they was around for 1,000 years, that means that they would have to have a thriving civilization in the Caucasus Mountains, man. Okay, complete madness, man. All right, so let's go, and this is why we titled the lesson. All right, he that leads in captivity shall go into captivity. Now, let's read this here. It's Revelation 13 and 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. Okay, now, Yahweh Shah said this again. Let's get this real quick. All right, and this would be let's get this again, man. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. And it's only for the elect to hear these things and understand these things. Okay, now he said that again. I just want to link it. This is Matthew 13 and 9. It says, who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Okay, so Yahweh Shah is saying this after, you know, he goes into the parable, all right, of the sower. Okay, now, when his disciples heard this, they asked him, verse 10, it says, the disciples came and said unto them, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto them, all right, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them it is not given. And see, we're starting to see the them. We know, you know, our people in the world, you know, they're part of that them that is not given to. But even those that are awakened to the Israelites, it's not given them to understand the mysteries of a kingdom. What is a kingdom? All right, it's a king's domain. Okay, so you have to understand the practical parts of a king's domain to really understand the mysteries of the kingdom. Okay, what Nate is talking about is a cartoon. You're just gonna chain people, all right, to mountains, all right, in some mountains, and 1,000 years later, somehow they're gonna have weapons. Okay, they're gonna have a strategy. Okay, somehow they're just gonna survive those 1,000 years and just come out with weapons and try. All right, here we're gonna be guys in the earth. Okay, but out of the rocks of Caucasus Mountains, he's gonna conjure up some weapons and a strategy. Okay, to rebel, and we're not gonna know until he make it to Jerusalem at the gates. You know, like, come on, man, it's a cartoon. Okay, we're gonna deal with the practical, okay, matters of a kingdom, man. Okay, so let's go back to but only for those who have an ear. Okay, so let's go back to Revelation 13 and 10. All right, Revelation 13 and 10, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what we're waiting on, man, for Esau to finally be removed out of captivity, man. I mean, to be removed out of rulership and put into captivity. Okay? That means he's going to work. This is our faith. This is what we've been waiting on, man. Okay? This is the last time this man will ever have any authority in the earth. This is it. Okay? So let's go to this word captivity, man. This is what we be waiting on, but Nate is telling you that nah, he's gonna come again. You know, come on, man. This is what this is what our faith is based on. This man finally being removed from power, man, put in chains and eventually exterminated, man. Okay, and that's gonna be a whole nother lesson by itself, man. All right, so let's get this word captivity. All right, in the Greek.
Strong's G 161. Achmalosia. Achmalosia.
All right, so you get this word in Greek. I think it was a root. Did I go to the root word? Yep. So you go here in the strong definition. All right. It says, and a derivative of the same. All right. It says a prisoner of war. Okay. Esau is going to be a prisoner of war. And when you make people prisoners of war, you put them to work. Okay. There's a waste of manpower to just put Esau. Here it is. Esau is responsible for the condition of the planet Earth, but he's not going to play a part in cleaning the earth up with his manual labor, man. Okay, it's a prisoner of war. Okay, Esau will be a prisoner of war. Okay, so let's go back into it. So when you go here to Revelation, what is Yahweh Shai coming to do? All right, this Revelation 19 and 11 says, I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Okay, he doth judge and make war. All right, and who's going to be a prisoner of war? Okay, Esau, Edom. Okay, and when you have a prisoner of war, so now let's deal with the practical. Okay, then we're gonna go into prophecy. Okay, let's deal with the practical, man. Let's get this word practical. This is why, I just put it up here. Okay. So you get this word practical. All right. It says adjective, concern. All right. It says of or concern with the actual doing or use of something rather than with theory and ideas. Okay. Concern with the actual doing or use of something rather than with theory and ideas. Okay. And what Nate is teaching is a doctrine of theory and ideas. Okay, it has nothing to do with the practical aspect of the kingdom. And you go here, the second definition, and it says of an idea, plan, or method. Okay, idea, plan, or method likely to be effective in real circumstances, feasible. Okay, in real circumstances, feasible. We're dealing with the real circumstances that Yahweh Shai is going to bring to the earth, man. Now, to get a glimpse of what the kingdom will be like, the practical aspect of the kingdom, is good to always go into the time of King David and King Solomon, because we're the house of David. Okay, so let's go here. Let's see what King David was doing, man. All right, you're not just gonna put people, because even the people in Esau's prison, they work. Now you have people in prison, but they'll be doing work for these major companies, man. Okay, they're not just sitting there in the prison. You know, even people in Esau's prison, they're getting their cheap labor out those prisoners for these major companies, man. Okay, that's why you have the prison, the industrial complex. Okay, so let's get on First Chronicles, I believe First Chronicles 18. All right, this First Chronicles 18 and 1. Now, after it came to pass that David smote the Philistines, and when did he do this? In war, and subdued them, okay, and took Gath and her towns out of the hand of the Philistines, and he smote Moab, and the Moabites became David's servants and brought gifts. Okay, so when you conquer nations, they become servants, they become workers. Okay, let's get this word servants, man. All right, and you just tie no, you know, I hear like Esau goddamn rock rod. He's just gonna have him tied up with a chain, you know, and he just walking in circles. Come on, man. All right, and y'all people at IUIC, y'all way too old to be believing that shit, man. Way too goddamn old, man. So you go to this word servant in Hebrew, which is abad. Okay, what does it say? A slave, servant, okay, subjects, okay. So Moabites was slaves. Philistines, they were slaves. Okay. So as David was going to war with these nations, he was turning them into what? Slaves under the kingdom of Israel. Yahweh Shai is coming to do what? Establish the throne of David. So what was going on during David's rulership? Okay, it says, and David smote Helarazah, king of Zobah, unto Hamath. So he was turning kings into slaves. This is what King David was doing. Yahweh Shai is coming back to turn kings into slaves. Okay? And it's going to be plenty of work to do in the kingdom, man. It says, as he went to establish, it says, as he went to establish his dominion by the river Euphrates, and David took from him 20 chariots and 7,000 horsemen and 20,000 footmen. David also hewed all the chariots, horses, but reserved of them 100 chariots. And when the Syrians of Damascus came to help Hadarazah, king of Zobah, David slew of the Syrians 22,000 men. Then David put garrisons in Syria, Damascus, and the Syrians became David's servants and brought gifts. Thus the Lord preserved David. All right. You see this? You see the pattern? Then the Syrians became David's servants and brought gifts. And we're going to get into these things in prophecy, man. Thus the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went. Okay? So when you're a nation that's coming into power, that's coming, okay, into authority, and as you take down other nations, they become your servants. Okay? Esau Edom is going to be, Esau is going to work the most hours, all right, and he's going to have the most backbreaking, laborious jobs in the kingdom. Okay, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Okay, so now let's get this here. Let's get this here. What was King Solomon doing? All right, let's get 1 Kings 5. First Kings 5 and 15. Now this was during the building, all right, of the temple. This 1 Kings 5 and 15. Matter of fact, let me get in NLT so we can look at these numbers. All right, this is 1 Kings 15 and 1 Kings chapter 5 verse 15. Solomon also had 70,000 common laborers, 80,000 quarry workers in the hill country. Okay, so Solomon, okay, had 150,000 labor force, okay, for the building of the temple. This is for the building of one building. He had 150,000 laborers to build one building. Okay, so you think we're gonna have all that manpower in the kingdom? All right, Esau, Edom, the wicked. Okay, the nation that the Lord hates, and they just gonna be, in the Caucasus Mountains chilling. Okay, while all this work is going on. No, Esau got a lot of work to do, man. Okay, Solomon had 150,000, all right, men, all right, heathens for the building of the temple. Okay, it says in 3,600 foremen to supervise their work. Okay, and then you had Israelites that was supervisors over those foremen. Okay, it says at the king's command, they quarried large blocks of high quality stone, all right, precious stone, and shaped them to make the foundation of the temple. See, going back to the practical, like, okay, like I like, brother drink Topo Chicos, the mineral water in the glass. In order for me to be able to drink a Topo Chico, do you know how much labor has to go into that? How much manual labor goes into that? Okay, you want to drink some tea. Do you know that that herb has to be actually harvested? Okay, you see, in America, we get the back end. We don't see the labor that goes into a lot of conveniences that we enjoy today. Okay, you go to Starbucks. You see, America has been separated from the actual labor and the work that goes into these convenience, the convenience that we enjoy on a day-to-day basis. Okay, and you can see with IUIC, they don't think like that. So they think like this is a cartoon. No. Okay, it says at the king's command, they quarried large blocks of high quality stone and shaped them. So the stones, all right, have to be mined, then they have to be shaped, then they have to be polished, then they have to be transported, then they have to be set. Okay. Like I say, you gotta think the Topo Chico, this glass bottle, that's a resource. That glass has to be made. It has to be, it's a process for that. You see? Come on, man. We gotta think like adults, man. Okay. I say y'all IUIC, y'all are way too goddamn old to believe that bullshit, man. Okay, now let's go here. This is 1 Kings 9 and 15. It says, this is the account, all right. It's dealing with King Solomon again. It said, this is the account of the forced labor, okay, the forced labor that King Solomon conscripted to build the Lord's temple, the royal palace, his own house, the supporting terraces, the walls of Jerusalem, and the cities of Hazar, Megiddo, and Gazar. Okay, so for King Solomon, he forced labor for the building of the temple, his own palace, all right, the additions to his estates, and his own personal cities. All right, it was through forced labor. Okay, it says Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, had attacked and captured Gezer, killing the Canaanite population and burning it down. He gave the city to his daughter as a wedding gift when she married Solomon. All right, and it lets you know that King Solomon wasn't just marrying women just to marry women. Okay, this is how kings would close business deal. Okay, to make business deal legit. Well, look, let you know that it's real. All right, I'm gonna give you my daughter in marriage. Okay, and I know if you westernize, it's the point where you stop watching if you westernize. Okay, but that's how kings and men of high status dealt. Okay, their daughters would close a lot of those deals, those major deals. Now, keep reading. It says, so Solomon rebuilt the city of Gezer. He also built up the towns of Lower Beth Horon, all right, Balath and Tamar in the wilderness, all right, within his land. Okay, it says he built towns and supply centers and constructed towns where his chariots and horses could be stationed. He built everything he desired in Jerusalem and Lebanon and throughout his entire realm. Okay, so all this building that was going on, and this is just for one king, King Solomon. Okay, we're going to be a nation of kings and priests. Okay, each brother, okay, is pretty much going to have their own construction crew. You see, depending on each brother gonna have their portion, but according to the portion that we got, we're going to have the workforce. Okay, that's going to be needed. Okay, according to our portion, according to our reward in the kingdom. Okay. God. It says, it said there were still some people living in the lands who were not Israelites, including Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. They were descendants of the nation whom the people of Israel had not completely destroyed. So Solomon conscripted them for his labor force, and they serve in the labor force to this day. Okay. But Solomon did not conscript any of the Israelites for forced labor. Instead, he assigned them to serve as fighting men, government officials, officers and captains in his army, commanders of his chariots and charioteers. Okay? So the Israelites were put in high positions, just like Esau in this kingdom. Isn't Esau in these positions? Okay, government officials, officers, and captains, and but the heathen are going to be in forced labor. Okay. And it says Solomon appointed 550 of them, which is Israelite, to supervise the people working on his various projects. So you have Jake just to go in and check on the work. Okay. Each brother is going to have their rank in the kingdom, because you got to think you got 144,000. Then there's that great multitude that can't be numbered. The rest of the 1/3, brothers going to have positions, man. Brothers going to be set up. Okay. Come on, man. So let's go here. Let's go to the promise. All right, because part of their promise was these nations would be in captivity, man. You go to the blessing. Okay, this is let me go back to the KJV. The kingdom gonna be, oh man, the kingdom is gonna be so far beyond anything we can imagine. All right, but we're just getting into the idea, just to be in the mindset of how the practical, okay, aspect of kingdoms and how they run. Okay, and it's gonna be on a whole nother level than what's being explained. All right, you women, you like, because it was, as a woman, you was a woman of status back in the day. You might have had 4 or 5 handmaids, man. In the kingdom, a woman, one of your wives might have 200-300 handmaids, man. Okay, the women gonna have their hair back, man. You're gonna take 3-4 women, 3, 4, 5 women just to do, the Israelite woman hair, man. Everybody gonna go to work, man. And another thing, the Edomite woman gonna be in the fields, in the mines, and in the fields with that nigga, man. Okay, and here it is. We picked all this cotton. You think this man not gonna pick no cotton? Because those are the main things that we're gonna be wearing is cotton, linen, and silk. Because we're gonna go back to wearing one fabric at a time. Okay, so you're gonna have your cotton, you're gonna have your cotton, robes and garments. You're gonna have your silk. You're gonna have your linen. Okay, the cotton. Who you think gonna pick the cotton? Who we ain't gotta spin the bottle on that. We down. No. You brothers and sisters in the South, man, you be driving by them cotton fields, man. You can't even see the end of them, man. Jay used to work that manually, man. You think Esau not going? Come on, man. From can't see to can't see. Okay. This Genesis 27-28 said, therefore the Most High. All right, now this is the blessing of Jacob. Therefore the Most High give thee the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee. Now the fatness of heaven is. All right, the dew of heaven, okay, is the earth. All right, and the fatness of the earth is where we're going to dwell, which is in the most plush parts. But the whole earth is going to be our possession. And plenty of corn and wine, which is resources, because the earth is going to give forth its strength. All right, and the earth is going to have to be worked. Okay, it said, let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee, be Lord over thy brethren. And let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curses thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. So let's go back to this word serve. This is in the promise. Okay? So as we get this word serve, all right, which is what? Abad. All right? It says to work, to serve, to labor, to work, to do work. Okay? To serve as subjects. This is part of the promise. These nations are going to serve. Esau is going to serve in these other nations. And Esau is going to do the majority of the work. Just as we do majority of the hands and feet work of this kingdom, you think Esau is not going to do the majority of the hand and feet work? Him and, all right, Karen. So let's go from there. When you go to Psalms, okay, let's get this in Psalms. All right, so this is the book of Psalms, chapter 2, okay, in verse 7, it says, I will declare the decree. The Lord have said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Okay, so the heathens are part of our inheritance, these nations. We're going to inherit the nations, all right, for what, man? For labor. Okay? Because if we own the earth, all right, we have to have laborers. Okay? It says, thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, and this is going to that 1,000-year period. These nations have to be broken. You got to look at it. The 1,000-year period, and see, Jake tried to separate the 1,000-year period from eternity. All right? The 1,000-year period just the beginning of our eternal kingdom. You got to look at in the Esau's kingdom now. Things gradually got like this. The wickedness that's normalized in Esau's kingdom. There's certain things that was done that's done now that he couldn't even do 10 years ago. Okay, there was things being done 10 years ago that he couldn't do 30 years ago. Things gradually got to this point. So things are going to gradually get back to their righteous standing. It's going to be with a lot of work and that rod of iron, man. All right, if there's any bucking, man. Okay, any thought of any type of disagreement, all right, is going to be met with a rod of iron, man. Okay, it's going to be some skull cracking, man. All right. It said, "Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel." Okay. So let's go here. Let's get this in Daniel 7 and 13. And this was given. So pretty much. Let's go Daniel 7 and 13. It says, "And I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man, which is Yahushua, came with the clouds of heaven, the chariots, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away." Okay, this is an everlasting dominion, not 1,000-year dominion, and a kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Okay, but Esau, Nathaniel, Bishop Nathaniel is telling you that there's going to be an attack or an attempt of an attack on the kingdom, man. Tripping. So let's get this word served. It's going to the same thing that was promised unto Jacob. Okay, we're seeing that the Most High is giving to Yahushua. All right, because at the end of the day, Yahushua is going to sit on the throne of David. Okay, because King David and King Solomon, they got a prelude of the kingdom. All right, but it was temporal. This time it's going to be eternal under Yahushua. Okay, yep. So you get this word. All right, serve with the pala. Okay, it says to serve, to worship. All right, to pay reverence. Okay, to pay reverence to serve. Okay, all nations, all right, are going to have an extremely high reverence for Yahushua. Okay, you mean to tell me that Esau is going to convince the nations to go back to this bullshit? The only reason that these nations comply with Esau because that nigga got their sword, man, and they know this nigga crazy. Okay, he own all the trade, in order for your nation to draw revenue, you have to deal with this man. Okay, the nations don't like Esau like that, man. Okay, he was given, this time to deceive them. This time, all right, he would loose this little season, but that never happened again, man. Okay, these nations are going to see righteousness, man. Okay, let's go here. These nations are going to experience righteousness, and there is no way. So he's pretty much saying that Esau is going to be able to influence these nations above the influence that we're going to have over these nations. Because if you rebel, that means that you fear, okay? You don't fear the people you're under, okay? You have a more reverence to the one that's trying to get you to rebel. Okay, you got to realize what this man is saying when he's saying these things, man. These are not no light offenses that this man is saying. When he's speaking, Esau, coming back and getting weapons. This is not no light offense, man. Okay, and Esau not gonna have no time to get no weapons. Here it is. You got a 15-minute break. Okay, you on the point system. You come back late from lunch one more time, you done, you fired. Okay, nigga watching you on camera, I seen you eating a sneaker, at the machine. Nigga called in the office, I seen you eating a sneaker at the machine, Well, here it is, we under this captivity, but this nigga don't have time to build weapons. Okay? Good grief, man. So let's go from there. All right. Now I want to get this in the book of Tobit real quick. So you go to the book of Tobit, chapter 13. All right. Because, all this building that's going to be needed, the bodies, bodies going to be buried. Okay. All these things, all this concrete got to go. Like, it's going to be it's going to be a cleanup crew. It's going to be construction crew. It's going to be transportation crew. We're going to get into that as well. Well, let's get this, man. Matter of fact, before I get this, 'cause I want to end with that. Okay. So let me get this in Ezekiel. Because I looked up that word sever. I want to get that word sever. And then we'll close with that Tobit. All right. So let's get Ezekiel 30. All right, this is Ezekiel 39. I started 11. It shall come to pass in the day that I will give unto Gog a place there of graves in Israel, the valley of passengers of the east of the sea, and it shall stop the noses of the passengers, and there shall they bury Gog and his multitude, and they shall call it the valley of humming God. All right, and this is post-World War, okay, because there's going to be a lot of troops dead, okay, on all sides, okay. Like World War III is going to put, this is going to be the death of a lot of inhabitants of the earth, man. Okay. It says, in 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land. Yeah, because these Russians, you got to understand, they think they next. Nah, they finna go to work too. Everybody finna go to work, man. What the hell this guy talking about? These folks finna go to work. Okay. It says, in 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying them, which is not going to be us. Okay. And we're going to go into why, it says Israel going to be burying them, but it's not going to be us, man. Remember, nation shall serve thee, that they may cleanse the land. Yeah, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown, the day that I shall be glorified, said the Lord power. Okay, and what do you think these nations are going to be thinking as they burying these bodies? They're doing this, this laborious work, because that shovel, see, that's some work, burying the grave. Shh. You go beg a 2-foot hole. You go dig a 2-foot hole in your backyard right now. Okay, you gonna have to call in. All right, you gonna be through. So bury. There's gonna be some work. Okay. And that's just phase 1. All right. And it says, and they shall silver out men of continual employment, passing through the lands to bury the passengers, those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it. And after the end, the 7 months, all right, shall they search. Now, I want to get this word. All right. Because those bodies got to be buried, and it's going to be fertilizer, man. Their bodies decomposing and break down. It's going to get strength back to the soil, man. The Lord got this thing mapped out. Okay? So you go here. Let's get this word sever out. All right? In the Hebrew, all right, it's badal. Okay, so to sever out means to divide, to separate, okay, to make distinction, to divide into parts. Yeah, so we're going to be, this people, all right, these heathens going to be burying the body. These people going to be marking the bodies to be buried. These heathens are going to be in the mines. These heathens, are going to be the builders. Okay, these heathens are, it's going to be the this is what we're going to be doing in the kingdom, man. Severing out. I mean, this is what we're going to be actually doing, putting work systems in place, man. Okay, putting labor forces, deciding, okay, how many need to be doing this, how many need to be doing that, where they need to go, Okay, this is y'all handle this phase of the work. Y'all handle this phase. Okay, that's what the kingdom is going to consist of, man. Okay, us ruling over these heathens, man. All right, ain't gonna be several continued employment. Ain't gonna be no unemployment rate in the kingdom, man. Okay, ain't gonna be nobody in the kingdom talking about they trying to figure it out, what to do with their life. Nah, it's gonna be playing when you come out the womb. All right, you're coming out to a job. Okay, and when you develop enough muscles, okay, to do something, you going to work. Okay, ain't gonna be I'm trying to get my master. No, we got your masters. All right, we got all that figured out. Okay, you don't have to do no thinking with that. Planning your future. No, we're gonna have that planned out. Okay. Yeah. So let's go here to get that in total. I think the point made. All right. So this is the book of Tobit, chapter 13. And we'll start at 10. All right. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 13, verse 10. It says, "Give praise to the Lord, for he is good, and praise to the everlasting King, that his tabernacle may be builded indeed again with joy." And then we're the tabernacle. Okay, and we're being built, by this word. And let him make joyful, there in thee those that are captives, and love, all right, in thee forever those that are miserable. And right now we're those miserable captives, man. All right, well, we're going to be loose, man. All right, this war is going to free us, man. That's why we don't put this war off like Christians, man. Okay, we welcome it. It said, "Many nations shall come from far to the name of the Lord, all right, with gifts in their hands, even gifts to the King of heaven." All right, just as what was going on with King David and King Solomon. "All generations shall praise thee with great joy. Cursed are all they which hate thee, and blessed shall all be which love thee forever." What did not told to Jacob? Okay, so this is the fulfillment of this blessing. "Rejoice and be glad for the children of the just, for they shall be gathered together and shall bless the Lord of the just." All right, and that's the deliverance. We're being gathered by this word, but then we're going to be gathered and taken back to our land. "Oh, blessed are they which love thee, for they shall rejoice in thy peace. Blessed are they which have been sorrowful for all thy scourges, for they shall rejoice for thee when they have seen all thy glory, and shall be glad forever. Let my soul bless the great King, for Jerusalem shall be built." Okay, it's going to be built. Who's going to do that? Okay, you think Esau not going to play a major part in this work? All this work we finna have for these heathens. You think Esau gonna get off and be in Caucasus Mountains, way over there and goddamn, here it is. Do you know how far you know how far that is from Israel, man? What Nate trying to put Esau? Hell no. Okay, this man got plenty of work to do. And it says, For Jerusalem shall be built with sapphires and emeralds and precious stones, thy walls and towers and battlements with pure gold, and the streets of Jerusalem shall be paved. Paved. Somebody got to pave. That's work. You see, you got to read between the lines. This is work. And the streets of Jerusalem shall be paved with beryl and carbuncle and stones of Ophir, and all her streets shall say hallelujah, and they shall praise him, saying, blessed be the Most High, which have exalted it forever. Okay, which have exalted it forever. You see, that's work, man. And I got to get this too. You know, I meant to get it early. All right. But the gospel, according to Nathaniel, will tell you otherwise, man. Oh, boy. So this is what's going to be happening when we reign in these 1,000 years, man. Jerusalem, the infrastructure of Jerusalem, all right? We're going to have estates. We're going to be having children, like, you know. So we're going to be establishing that righteous order, man. You know, the 1,000 years is the beginning of eternity, man. Okay? It said the word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountains of the Lord, or the government, all right, Zion, all right, shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all the nations shall flow into it, because these are the nations after that 1,000-year period. Okay. Even going into that 1,000-year period, man, these nations are going to see the benefit of righteousness, man. They're going to benefit off the wisdom, all right, that the earth is going to be ran with. All right. It's going to far outdo an iPhone and Starbucks, man. Okay. It says, and many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord. Hey, they got to check in to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his path. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. But Nate is telling you that Esau is going to undo this, and he's going to get the nations to rebel. Okay. It says, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Okay? So the scripture tell you they shall not learn war anymore, but Bishop Nate is telling you that the Esau is going to war against Israel in the kingdom and get other nations to follow him. Okay, so at the end of the day, you believe what the Bible say or you believe Nate. Okay, and that's what it's going to boil down to. All right, so yeah, man, that's the point. I pray that you brothers, all right, and you sisters were edified. Just want to paint that picture in the spirit. Like I say, it's right on time. Hey, you can do nothing against the truth before it. Okay, so when we hear these, I say when they lie, we're gonna edify. Lord will. So with that, once again, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, shalom.